Yes, Rashi. So we are going to inquire about dedication today.
Yes.
And you are aware of this fact that we are recording this session for the viewers. We will keep it for further inquiry with them, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, over to you. Dedication.
Yeah. Okay, so my topic is dedication, and I would like to basically confess that I haven't dedicatedly prepared for it.
Awesome. Yeah. So these sessions are meant to be not prepared and inquired together.
Yeah.
Actually,
so
yes.
that was, yeah. So I think the fact that it was free and it wasn't like with any expectation, I didn't have that a pressure to prepare. So I just let it
Beautiful.
evolve as it came.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, there are just few directed questions, so I was just thinking and going deep into what is dedication. So so the first is, what is dedication? So I think dedication is a feeling which comes from inside to support something or someone, or a group, or any organization, wherever you are, with a very strong bias for it, like being very loyal to something or someone, in short. So for example,
So when
if
you say
yes.
feeling, means physiological sensation. Physiological sensation.
Yes, but I think it is driven by an ideated philosophical notion that dedication means this. So once I think it is coming from a psychological domain of an idea called dedication, and we are like always telling that this is called dedication. This is how, if you do things in this way, this is called, like for example, dedicated wife should do everything that the husband asks her to do. I mean, that's defined by the world. So it's an idea, and through idea you somehow develop the physiological sensation that yes, I'm doing whatever I'm supposed to do, so I'm a dedicated person. Like
So
for
that
example,
idea gets converted into a belief.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah. So I mean, there can be a lot of such examples. So dedicated mother who is dedicatedly taking care of the kid as is expected by her, as per the norms, so-called society driven norms, um, forgetting about what the kid actually really wants the mom to do. So a lot of times
No,
the mom
otherwise
is
also
supposed,
suppose there is no norm, then also a mother
yes.
will eventually naturally take care of the kid, right?
Yeah.
If there is
Absolutely.
not
Yes.
a norm of dedication of or the norms
Yes.
for a dedicated mother, otherwise also what that
Yeah.
mother will do will eventually take care of the child, right? Like, will there be any
absolutely.
natural
So,
mother? Yeah. So that dedication, quote unquote, or the norms for being dedicated is an extra burden, kind of, is it?
Yes. It comes with an expectation, basically. For example, I mean, mother, if we take an example of a mother, of course, the mother will do naturally what the child is wanting her to do. And if he's hungry, she'll feed. All of this is fine. But when, for example, when the kid is like, not dependent totally on the mom and has grown up to a little bit, maybe, a little bit independent than what he was earlier, at that time also most of the times I have seen the society is expecting the mom to take care of, like take care of the studies, make sure that he's earning highest marks, or doing his homework well. So what I'm saying is these type of expectations and norms created by the society, and naming this as a dedicated mom. So if this norm is not there, naturally the mom is definitely going to support. It's a natural way, like the natural flow. It will automatically come when the child is expressing something, like he's not happy about something or not willing to do something which the mom is asking. Then naturally, if this dedication word is not there, the mom will let the child be free without aiming at achieving that goal of being a dedicated mom.
So what is the impact of dedication on an individual? What is the impact actually
yeah,
on an
so
individual overall?
Personally, I feel that the dedication to something is going to block your cognitive growth, because you are biased for something and you are strongly supporting it, whether it is natural or not. You are just kind of fixated about something, like this is how it should
fragmenting be. Something from the whole.
Exactly.
And considering that as a whole.
Yes. So this way you will be blocking your cognitive growth and also blocking the natural flow of your life. Because if you're dedicated, for example, I can take my own example actually. How is that impacted me? So my background is PhD and being a scientist and doing research, and most of the researchers are considered to be dedicated to their work and hypothesis, right? So so the fact that I was not dedicated, I could let my natural flow discover and flower into something that I am now doing it. If I was a dedicated scientist, I wouldn't be talking to you today.
I hear you. So you are okay to not being a dedicated scientist?
Yeah, you're absolutely okay with it. I feel like, I feel like a scientist needs to be not dedicated to actually uncover whatever the scientist has to uncover.
Right. Being open rather than being dedicated. Yes.
Absolutely. Because then there is a bias towards your theory or whatever you are expecting, and this expectation will not let the natural course takes its own place, and the flow will be blocked.
So dedication as a whole, can there be any effectiveness of dedication?
Yes, absolutely.
What kind? Like effectiveness in a positive sense or in natural sense? Natural sense, can there be?
Yes. So for example, for example, if you have to cook for yourself, and so you have something like, okay, I have to prepare this. You are dedicatedly working towards making that stuff, and that dedication can be positive, because then you made something that was naturally your body wanted to eat, and and
so I can do that without quote unquote dedication, can't I? Like the mother example that you have shared. Similarly, can't I do that for myself? Like without quote unquote dedication, can't I do the same thing, or maybe the needed thing?
I mean, to be very frank, this is what I always do. I do things, but I don't think there is a dedication involved in that, because it comes naturally. So for example, if I'm hungry, the dedication will naturally come to cook the food because I'm really hungry. So yeah, so maybe I cannot call it as dedication, but it's just because your body is wanting something and you want to prepare it to the best of possible, which is palatable by your taste buds, you will do that thing naturally. You will do it with a dedication, so called, but it is not required for sure. The dedication
so
is
conventional
not
understanding of dedication would be missing there, but a natural tendency of providing the needful thing for myself, I can proceed with.
Yes.
So that means are we saying that dedication is not needed for a life?
No, absolutely not. I mean, dedication is not basically sensed by our 5 sense organs, to be very frank.
It's an idea. It's an
idea which has been created in our society.
In the society.
Yeah. So of course it is absolutely not required for our life to continue.
So if an individual is finds himself or herself fixated with thoughts of dedication, and now that individual is able to identify it, that yes, I am in a fixated zone of dedication. So what could be the way out for that individual?
Yeah.
Like so far that individual, suppose, was in the glamorized zone of thinking or considering dedication is a great thing.
Yeah.
Now with the inquiry, one identifies, okay, this is a fixation. Then what is the way out?
So the way is basically just to inquire further and understand whether this is an idea or this is something that is naturally coming out of your 5 senses. Basically, this is the first step we can actually take to identify whether this dedication is real or rational or irrational. So rational is something that is coming from 5 senses and you can perceive it.
So physical experience.
Through physical experience, yes. The fact that this dedication is irrational because you cannot really see or sense it. It is just a feeling that is or an idea that is created by the society. One has to then go deeper into it, and I think it's one's own responsibility to consciously not let that thought grow and not let that dedication keep fixated to something. So that is the inquirers.
So how can one let a thought not grow?
Basically by just freeing the thought that this is what it has to be. You can just let it free and say, okay, whether I'm following something or not doesn't really matter. So freeing yourself from that idea that this is good for me, you can say, okay, if I do it, it's fine. If I don't do it, it's fine. That will itself give you the freedom, actually.
So are you saying that just looking at it closely without any further emotional burden, like hatred or praising it, uploading it, glamorizing it?
Absolutely. So yeah, because that will again come with some fixation, right? If it is hatred or
then the fact will appear in front of you.
Yes. So the moment you free yourself and come to a neutral zone where there is no opinion or attachment or fixation towards or the other way around, I think you will be able to then yourself uncover the fact.
And looking at the action that you are intending to do, for the physical requirement of it, perhaps.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Whether there is an ideated aspect of this action, or there is a physical requirement, actual physical requirement.
Yes.
For which you are taking the action.
Yes.
Yes. So then all these drama around dedication is just a burden for the individual, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, I can tell you with my own experience that I'm so free that I don't need to be a dedicated mom or dedicated wife or a daughter-in-law.
And so being a not dedicated person, also you are finding very calmness, and you are finding yourself within all the relationships. You connect with all relations without being dedicated to that relationship.
Yes, absolutely. However, I still feel like, I still feel that when people see me that I'm not up to their expectations of whatever so-called, initially maybe, people react in a different way that, oh, she doesn't do this, because that's the norm, right? Like the rituals or whatever on a daily routine basis. But once they see that this is my natural way of doing, and this is how I am in every aspect, I feel like there is an acceptance also from the other side, whether they are inquiring or not. So that is what I have experienced.
Acceptance rationally.
I don't know what type of, but at least not really then bothering me or forcing me to do something.
Forcing you to be dedicated.
Yes. Because probably they are observing me in every aspect, that I'm not just for this, but in general I'm open. I think that gives them kind of a direction that, okay, maybe this is how the person is, and they accept.
So since you started with the connection of loyalty and dedication, if I remember correctly, so do you think that if there is no dedication, there will not be any loyalty?
No, absolutely not, because even loyalty is also an idea.
Otherwise, like so-called the integrity, not the loyalty, is a byproduct in a natural life, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. So we don't need to be loyal, or we don't need to teach someone to be loyal.
Aim to be loyal.
Exactly. Yeah. We don't have to be aim to loyal or teach someone to be loyal.
Beautiful.
But that is something that naturally comes in. I mean, that's your natural tendency.
Byproduct. Like when you are leading an inquiring life, then loyalty, integrity, these all things are byproduct.
Yeah, you don't make extra efforts to be loyal.
Yes.
It just comes
as this morning
naturally.
we were discussing about patience and anger also. Like if you are aiming not to be angered, suppressing the anger, controlling the anger, you'll never be succeeded.
Absolutely, yes.
If you are in an inquiring zone, then there is no opportunity for you to be angry, to be angry.
Yes.
Isn't it? So calmness is a byproduct.
Yeah.
Calmness is a byproduct. Similar, it goes with the patience also. Like if you are aiming to be patient, you will never be patient.
I mean, you can physically show others that you are patient.
Faking.
Yeah, faking patience. Yeah. I have seen that a lot.
Yes, and otherwise in an inquiring zone, if you are being asked that how are you so patient, then you actually bring your notice. Okay, this is called patience. Am I patient? So because you are not faking patience, but as a byproduct, you are being shown or being seen as patient.
Yes, yes. That's true. I mean, I remember a lot of my colleagues, commenting on me that, oh my God, what level of patience you have. I'm like, really?
So, yes. Then you get that, what do you call, like this identification. Okay, this is called patient. I did not aim for it.
Exactly. So it was like very
similar. It may go for the dedication, that you are so dedicated in your field of natural healing.
Yes.
So, yes. Then you remember, okay, this is called dedication.
Because I'm just enjoying, and that is why I'm doing, and that's the natural flow. I'm just letting myself go with the natural flow, and I think it's a side effect that I'm enjoying what I'm doing. And that's why it keeps going.
I think the word byproduct would be a better instead of side effect.
Sure. Yes. Absolutely.
It sounds
thanks
very
for that correction.
It sounds very medicinal. Side effect.
Yes. Totally agree. Yes. Byproduct is natural.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Rashi, for this enlightening talk and bringing so much of clarity on the aspect of dedication, and you brought that loyalty aspect also. Very nice.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Anything you want to add to conclude?
Well, I mean, I had just made some points.
Yes.
I am just going to check if. Yeah, basically just relating it to your like dedication can also mean sacrificing a lot of your natural urges, which is basically then finally suppressing your natural urges. And that can zap your energy. So basically this energy conservation is something that also plays an important role in dedication.
So that gets compromised in the path of dedication.
Yes. So basically,
very meaningful.
Basically that's
meaningful.
It.
Meaningful. Thank you, Rashi.
And we'll thank you so much.
Different topics. Bye-bye.
Absolutely, looking forward to it.